Hello and welcome to episode 11 of the Ammo Hour. Today is something a little bit different. Last night, this releases on Monday, so Saturday night, but last night when I'm recording this, me and my other three bandmates from We Came From Wolves sat and did our first ever live multi-channel video, so that went out to YouTube and Facebook. Joined by some of the fans of the band, some of the previous members just in the comments, just having a laugh with us. We had a good amount of drinks, which is why I'm recording this intro in the evening of Sunday and putting this edit together to go out tomorrow because, been a lazy day. I've been off the beers for a wee while and we had a good few last night, which was awesome, great fun. But we did this because we've got a brand new release, a vinyl release, our first ever vinyl. It's been a long, hard couple of years. We explained why too, but the first year was planned, and then obviously we got hit by the pandemic. So we've had plans in place to record our second album, the follow-up to our 2015 debut album, for a long time. And then this year hit us, and we've had no income just when we were looking to make it. So this vinyl release is a collection of songs which are so special to us from some previous singles that didn't get a physical release, and our favourite EP to date. Putting that out in a beautiful piece of vinyl, a beautiful package with handwritten lyrics and great photography, matching t-shirt design from an amazing artist, Rodrigo Serna in Madrid. All of this is available at wecamefromwolves.bigcartel.com, and you can also pre-order the vinyl at theammocollective.bigcartel.com. So today it might not be, depending on how you found this podcast, this might not be for you. If you've been a fan of the band and followed me from that and then this podcast, this might be a cool episode for you. It's a big long one. It's over 2.5 hours long, so you might want to split it up. But I want to put it out there because we chatted a lot about what it's like for 4 different guys to have been going through what we have over the last bit. We also listened to every one of the 8 songs, discuss in detail the kind of inspiration behind them. A lot of these songs are battles with mental health, depression, loss, things like that. So pretty real and honest. And then we sit and listen to the songs together. So for me as a musician, if there was other bands doing this kind of thing, I'd find it really interesting. So I guess you got to not try and guess what other people want and just be true to yourself. And I just felt it was worthwhile uploading this one. So I've got plenty of great interviews in the bag, plenty of great interviews still to have. This isn't kind of running out of things to do. They'll resume from next week though. I just wanted to let this be played because it's recorded and it's out there, and as I said, we did it just last night, so this will just be a couple of days after that. So here we go, episode 11 of the Ammo Hour with We Came From Wolves.
Right, okay, so what we are launching today is our first ever, well, a little bit of a background. In the start of 2019, we'd been hammering for the 8 years prior to that. We'd been hammering as a band, and you'll have seen the podcasts, A Decade of Wolves, well, the different versions of the lineup. From start to 2019, we used every weekend, evening, holidays, in all these incarnations of the band to just tour, write, rehearse, release stuff. So in 2019, it was a year where Andy was starting a business, Rob was moving up his kind of career ladder, Callum was making these plans to move across the Atlantic for a year at that point, and I was going to be changing career, getting married. So we thought, right, this is a year we'll take. It's not the end, but it is a kind of planned hiatus, if you like. So we did that, and then COVID happened in 2020. So when we'd planned that, everything was going to be kind of getting back to normal, writing and stuff like that, obviously everybody knows what happened there. So it's been 2 years now, and not driven just by money, but financial implication is a thing. We've always been a DIY band, and that doesn't just mean like oi oi and 4 chords, just because we have a different style. It's still DIY, So we don't have any income to release new things, but we're not ready to call this a day just because of something as morose as money. So we wanted to bring something out. It's been 10 years as a band, and there's some songs that we feel were on their way to being the next album and felt naturally like they fit together. Those songs were the songs that were on Haunt Me, and the 3 subsequent singles, Keep Close, Wish Forever Was Today, and Always Be Mine. Now, every one of these songs on that EP and these 3 singles really, really explored feelings of like deep depression, sometimes suicidal thoughts, loss, anxiety, that were not just personal to me, but I know resonated with a lot of the guys in the band, and certainly with a lot of our fans, as cheesy as that is. I like to say friends of the band, whatever. Long story short, these people always asked for physical releases of the singles, and Haunt Me was asked for on vinyl so many times, but it wasn't something we were ever in a position to do. It costs so much money, as we've now found out. So we are launching Lune, which is the songs from that EP, Haunt Me, and those 3 singles, composed in a way that we feel flows in an even better way. It sounds so amazing. We've got the test pressings of the vinyl. We've worked with a Madrid-based artist, Rodrigo Serna, to make some beautiful merch, which has some imagery which is reflected throughout the music. And Andy's close friend, Ted Simpson, has produced some amazing photography that really fits on, moves from the Haunt Me vibe onto these singles. So again, we just felt like this felt like an album together. We'd been talking about for so long, this EP and those 3 singles felt like they were together. Had we not faced a global pandemic, we probably would have added a few more to them and maybe done that as an album before another one. All these reasons. But then what the pandemic did allow us to do, so we made the choice that that's what we're going to do. What the pandemic did allow us to do was to write like crazy. And I'd been amassing some demos for years, and they were sitting at kind of like 50 plus. We've had so many check-in meetings and like, discussing like what gets dropped, what gets kept, what do we need to rework on. I like the chorus, not the verse. We pulled this down to 35 and then to 20, and we've finally got it to 17. And we can announce that we will be recording our second album this year as well, pre-production, and then going down to Southampton with Neil Kennedy, producer that we love his work, and we've wanted to work in a residential studio for years. So we've got 17 songs that we know are our best work, and they come straight from the heart. We feel we're like a red wine. We're aging, getting better with age. And yeah, we're ready to record that. But the kind of 2 sides to the pendulum is here. All those reasons we wanted to bring out the EP, people asking for it, we felt it belonged together. We've not done this in a way, and we'll show you the product in a minute. We've not done this in a way where we just retain as much as we can. It's not a single album sleeve where you stick it in and it's a black disc. We've gone for fold out, we've gone for handwritten lyrics, we've gone for this beautiful coloured mixed disc that all costs so much. Our profit reduces so much. However, we would never release something that we didn't think really was giving the people who like this band something for their buck. So to make that second album, we'll need pre-orders for that at that time. But to even book the studio time, we've not been gigging. I've not been working for a year. We've all been absolutely screwed. So we would never just ask for money, but we need the support of the fans to get involved with this Lune campaign, help us get that initial buzz of money. We can then book the studio, and then we can get things out for pre-orders. We can have subscriptions and Patreons to let people see the recording process, hear demos, get in touch about things. All that will be for another call. Tonight's about Lune. So it's about this record release, and yeah, we're just super excited about it. So I've been chatting absolutely rakes to give you the general gist. Let's just go around the guys and get some feedback from you guys listening. What I want to do after that is we're going to listen through the songs. If you just wanted the initial message, that's cool. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to go through the songs, listen together, have a bit of talk about, even though some of them were years ago, talk about how they were written, etc., etc. So let's go around, Callum, just what you're feeling about all this, and then we'll move around, and I'll share some people's comments as we go. Thanks for listening to me.
Good job, Kyle.
Thanks, man.
It's always, I mean, this is especially exciting for me because I've not been involved in something that's become a physical release yet, which seems mad, even though I've been in the band for 2 years and you guys feel like brothers to me. We just haven't had that opportunity since I joined in. So I'm really looking forward to being able to just release something where I can hold on to it and know that I contributed. And all those other songs that are on there, they have such strong memories for me from us playing on tour. Playing the same songs every night for over a week. They start to mean quite a lot, even though I wasn't involved in writing them. So yeah, I mean, I got the test pressing through the post from Kyle a couple of weeks ago. Been spinning that a couple of times, and I just can't wait to have a look at the artwork and the t-shirts and see.
Piece, man.
Yeah, it's been just months of chat and deliberating all these ideas and throwing things back and forth with each other, and we've finally come up with something I think we're all really proud of. And especially just being over here and not getting to see you and actually make all this happen in the same room together. It's going to be so rewarding to just hold that and feel like all these months really were worth it.
Can I just jump in there? What we'll do is I'll maybe just quickly share. Some people are asking how they get it, so we'll go around everyone, but I'll pop that up in just 1 wee second. But Callum, I think that sounds everything you're there. I can't agree with enough. And I think we've always known we're not a band that has hundreds of thousands of fans, but what we do have is people who care a lot about it. And I always say, as soon as certainly I've written those lyrics and released that song, it's not mine anymore. Some of my favorite bands, I listen to the lyrics and relate it to my life, and I feel people really get that with our band. And I can't wait till everyone who orders this and wants this has got it in their hand, and I know that energy is in the universe, that we're listening to that at the same time. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, totally.
That's pretty spiritual to me. I will also mention, I forgot to say this, we're only going to make 250 of these, and that's not actually like a tactic. There wasn't much difference really to start upping those numbers once you get to that. But we decided that we'd make something really special. It would be limited to 250 copies. And that's what we needed to get the kind of first chunk of recording paid for. So we just thought this was a really nice thing to do, and it jumps into that gap. So I'll share right now what the packages look like and how you can get them, and then we'll hear from Andy. So let me just get to the Big Cartel. So here we are. So yeah, you can get yours by going to, can you guys see that?
She's a beauty.
Yeah.
Yep.
So head to wecamefromwolves.bigcartel.com. If one of you guys isn't on your phone and can stick that on the Facebook page right now, that'd be great. But if not, no worries. I guess people on the live stream, you guys could link that in the comments as well. This is your first chance. We messaged mailing list subscribers last night to give them a kind of 24 hours heads up, just as we would anytime. They're the people that have been following. So we have sold a few of these already, but as I said, 250. So when they're gone, they're gone. So we're offering you the vinyl here and the t-shirt for 35, or the vinyl on its own for 20, or the t-shirt on its own for 20. So yeah, wecamefromwolves.bigcartel.com. So this is our t-shirt designed by the guy Rodrigo Serna, an amazing artist. He's done stuff for Rolo Tomasi, I believe Early Architects, loads of kind of hardcore bands, and he has a lot of imagery here about Lune and Roman goddess of kind of the feminine, and a lot of cool stuff here, which I can get into in another time. We like Romulus and Remus. We love the Roman kind of mythology. On the front, the detail is just the full moon with Lune. So yeah, these are sick tees that
they're
again,
so savage, man.
again, I work on Photoshop, and I could have knocked us something up for free, but we paid our own money to get some proper art created for that as well. And here's the vinyl. So here's the original photography from Ted Simpson. A marbled smoke effect on the vinyl, which is something we really wanted to have something awesome on the wax. And here's the lyrics for each of the 8 tracks as well. So we'll go back to the lovely boys. Is that back on you guys? I'm new to this.
Yeah, all good, man.
Yeah,
Cool.
man.
Okay,
Got it.
Andy,
Got it in the bag, Kyle.
Thanks, just about. So
Yeah,
Andy,
man,
how
like
you
this,
feeling about all this?
man, absolutely buzzing. For me, this vinyl, this release is a compilation of every song that I've been a part of in terms of the writing process that's been released to date. So it's just a summary of my whole journey with Wolves, really. When I joined, a lot of you guys will know, but the band had just released their first album. So for the first wee while, it was me performing the previous songs that the band had written, and for the next few years after that was just kind of honing in on these new ones which are going to be released on the vinyl. And this is just super exciting to have every single one of those all together on a savage disc, with amazing artwork, amazing photography. Like I said, Ted Simpson's a good friend, and his photography is absolutely unreal. So it's a real privilege that he's allowed us to use some of his pieces for this. So yeah, man, I'm absolutely over the moon for it. And I don't have a vinyl player, so I need to get one so I can actually listen to this. Otherwise, yeah, like, I don't know. I need to get on that stuff, man. But yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing. This is a real special one. And before we do the next album, yeah, I just need to, I don't know, just get super stoked for this, and that's it, man.
Awesome, man. I'm not sure if it's your mic, Andy. Is anyone else hearing a bit of feedback when Andy's going back and forward?
No,
Just
mostly
me?
okay.
I don't know. All good. I'll try
Are
to
you on
stay still
wireless?
just in case. Yeah, I'm on the wireless beast just now, man. I'll try to stay still and I won't get so excited and rock about.
I don't know what it would be.
You're a
I don't
drummer,
know.
you can't help it.
Exactly, man. Yeah.
Maybe
Can't
it's
strap
just
this boy
not
down.
too right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, should we maybe listen to the first track from it, and then we can get some words from Rob?
Yeah, let's have it.
Cool,
Yeah,
right.
let's
So what we're
watch
going to do, what we're going to do, guys, is what format do you think would be better? We're totally off the cuff here, guys, and we hope you're joining us for a couple of beers. Let us know what you're drinking, or if you're not drinking, that's cool. If you're on the pineapple juice, let us know. What format do you think would be a little bit better? Do you think we should talk about the first song first, or listen and then talk?
We can give a bit of an intro, I think.
Okay, cool. Right, so the first track on Lune is This Never Gets Easy. So this song, I remember we demoed it and had it called The Golden Ratio. We always have a kind of working title for our songs, and it was called The Golden Ratio because this song just like, we played all these like little bits and they all just like slotted together like a jigsaw. We're like, oh, what should we do for the chorus? This? Yeah, that's actually perfect. And what about the melody for this? Yeah, that works perfectly. It was just like, that's really easy. Writing songs is easy. Not often.
Got it in the bag.
We've got an angry.
It's still fun for me to hear this stuff. I've been playing these songs for 2 years and haven't heard some of these stories. So
yeah, I mean, this was the song. We were out at your dad's house, actually, weren't we, Andy? But we were actually in the house rather than our practice spaces was in a bothy just outside. And
bottom living room.
Yeah, and I remember this song. I think I was just playing that intro bass riff, wasn't I, Kyle? And you was started playing some chords, and it was one of those songs where, for people who don't kind of know about songwriting or maybe aren't musicians, songs can take 5 minutes or they can take 5 months, and it doesn't mean it's an amazing song just because it's taken 5 minutes to write, or vice versa. But this one, genuinely, I think it was about 10 minutes, wasn't it? We had all the parts down, and
it was just one of those songs that never really changed either, did it? From when we initially demoed it and written it to recording it, which is quite rare. I think a lot of the times you'll get a song that's written and you'll maybe be playing it and refining it and working out parts and just kind of producing it yourselves almost in that demo process while you're maybe making a chorus shorter or doubling up a pre-chorus or a bridge or something. And this one, it was it just seemed to stay exactly how it was written. And totally. I think for me it's can't obviously give any sneak peeks away from the album, but at the point until we started writing these new songs, it's definitely my favourite We Came From Old song I think that we've ever done.
And I think
I can't agree with you more there. Like, it's definitely the favourite one I've ever been a part of. Like you said there, Laura, about like when we've gone into pre-production with Bruce Rinto, that is the one song which has been like, that sound like
yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, it's just
for sure.
Absolute belter, isn't it?
It's the song is about I mean, some of this might always in our lyrics be clear from the lyrics, but just in case anyone doesn't know, this song's about most of them are about mental health issues and that, which now is a very quite rightly very easy thing to say, but back even a few years ago definitely wasn't, and writing was only catharsis. I would have to be brave enough to like say what I really feel, so you'd sing all this, scream all this with such emotion, and people are like, how are you feeling? Oh yeah, great, man. So read those lyrics though. But this one's all about being not too hard on yourself and being like, mistakes and issues and problems stuff, they're all part of the journey. And you're going to waste your life and waste the time you have with the people you love most if you're constantly living in the regrets and pulling yourself over the coals, rather than like, we talk about I need a new hourglass, the sands of time, hold this time at bay, because all that's going away because I'm just stuck in my own head, like worrying so much about all that other shit. So let's listen to it together. And we're not here for a rush, so if you need to jump off, that's cool. We're going to go through these 8 songs and have a bit of chat in between. So this never gets easy, so we're going to,
if you want to open up the pit in your living room, then please do.
100%. We encourage it.
Things have never easy, but that's the price you pay for our destinies meeting.
Banger.
Stone
Good
cold
to get you
banger.
screaming again, man.
Yeah, man. I've been
So
doing more
good.
screaming than singing.
Love it. Absolutely fucking love it, man.
I still
Here
can't
we've
help
got
but
some-
hear you back on horse immediately after that finishes.
Oh, yeah.
Takes me straight back to
Absolutely.
right at the end of a live show. You're covered in sweat,
Yeah,
barely any energy left, but you just give it balls that last song.
yeah. I will do, Eggy, man. Got the rest of the set to go. Needs more
It's a
kettlebell,
shame.
though.
We've been working on trying to get something that that would let us kind of be rocking out, and you can like, I guess, see us while we're listening to it, but we just can't get the audio correct, unfortunately. So yeah, You've Bet the Wrong Horse was always a fun one after that, and then me up on Andy's drum, like praying that this wouldn't be the one time I would fall through it, but we got
fucking me too, man.
we got through it. Okay, Rob, how are you feeling about this release, and how have you felt over the last year? And obviously, us not being able to do the things that have defined us all for so many years, you know. You're on mute, mate. Yes.
It was going to happen to someone.
Yeah, totally.
Still on mute.
Great
insight
here.
Oh, brilliant! He's gone.
That's the end of Rob.
Well, guys, so Rob's left the band. That's the other thing of it tonight.
I guess he really doesn't like that
That's
song.
what this video is all about.
Yeah. So again, you can grab the Big Cartel link I've put in the comments there. We've got Rob back, everyone. Here he is.
Welcome to the stage.
It completely froze for me, and I couldn't take myself off mute, which is excellent. So yes, if that happens again, blame Bobsy's dodgy Wi-Fi. I think for me, just following on from what the guys have said, I mean, talking about the kind of release, first of all, this is the first vinyl that we've ever done as a band. It'll be the first vinyl that I've ever been a part of in, kind of my whole music career. So excited for this. It's one of the things we did talk about, doing in the past, but when we started looking into the cost of it, it was just crazy. So hats off to bands who do that. And I think one of the things that we'd spoken about in the past, Kyle, was we wanted to make it right. We didn't want to just put a vinyl out and it was just a basic no frills, cheap version that we'd still have to charge people sort of £15-20 to break even with. We wanted to do it properly, and even just the mock-ups that we see on Big Cartel now, it kind of gives you a flavour, of how good this is going to be. And, when we all get the actual physical finished version in our hands, I think, everyone's going to be blown away. So excited to hear that. I mean, like Callum was saying, we got the test pressings from the manufacturing guy, and Kyle kindly sent them on, and been spinning that non-stop, to be honest. And I think it, I've only ever heard these songs on Spotify or our our Bandcamp. I've never actually had the Haunt Me EP as like a CD, and obviously the 3 singles were just put out digitally as well. So just actually being able to sit down and physically have to put the record on, drop the needle down and hear the static crackling before the first track kicks in. I think it's something kind of quite magical, and I think that's why there is such a big vinyl revival now going on, because it's just that tangible connection you've got with the music. Music has, I guess, become a bit disposable. I saw a crazy stat recently that the average track length on Spotify before it skipped to something like 3 seconds, which doesn't surprise me at all. So to have, something that we're really proud of, these 8 songs, to actually have that on a physical release, and that we've got to physically put on, turn it over after 4 songs, I think it's great. So excited about that. In terms of like the pandemic and stuff, just because we've not been that visible on social media, like we've touched on earlier. You know, we've done so much work behind the scenes. We've done so much planning, so much demoing, even just keeping in touch as well, in little Zoom calls and things. So even though it feels like I've not seen these guys for months and months, and I've not seen Callum since Kyle's wedding. I've not seen Andy since last July. I've not seen Kyle since, I think it was October, Kyle, when you last cut my hair. You can probably tell the length of this mop. Get my hair cut on Saturday though, to see the big man buzzing. So yeah, I think it's great, and I think just you kind of take for granted all the things that the pandemic has kind of taken away from you in terms of being able just to see your pals, or even just to get into a room and make music together. It's crazy how you just took that for granted. Like, let's go and practice, guys. And I know with how busy we were as a band, and obviously other bands as well, it's mad that has been taken away. Obviously, not to belittle the fact that it's had to happen for a reason. Unfortunately, too many people have died, or have got lasting kind of long-term complications from it. Not to kind of get too morbid and drag the tone down. But what I'll say, just to kind of round up, is I'm absolutely buzzing for this release. The artwork is incredible, the photography that Ted's done, the design of the tee that Rodrigo's done, even just the kind of style we've done, which is a huge credit to Kyle, who's kind of the creative director, I guess, for all our releases and things. The handwritten lyrics in there. I think that the package looks so amazing, and I'm so buzzing to get this out, and to finally be able to see everyone and get out again and get to shows. I noticed Biffy have got their big summer gig moved, so if you're looking for a support, boys, you know where to come.
Simon's actually
is he on the live stream? I was going to say, he told me he was tuning in.
He's a few too many comments. I don't want him to look too keen, so I'll just share the odd one and two. I've got your back, Simon. Don't worry.
Nice one.
Right, so next up on great words there, Rob. A lot of people in the comments loving that. Yep. Kev saying he'll buy a T-shirt as long as Andy wears it for 24 hours first.
Man, you're a brave man.
The price is going up though, if that's the case. So next song on this vinyl selection, Lune, is Keep Close. It would be daft to try and suggest this is anything other. It's quite clearly a song about loss. I wrote this one when my dad passed away, so it's kind of bittersweet because I hadn't picked up my guitar at all when that happened. So that's a couple of years ago now. What are we talking, like maybe? It's shocking I don't know this, but it's not really something I like hark back to. But I guess pandemic's made another year. I think we're probably 3 years ago. I hadn't played my guitar at all. I'm really lucky enough that I've got this place out in Rannoch in the Highland Perthshire that I'm able to go and do my writing. And I started doing that. The first song I wrote there was Places Unfamiliar, which we'll come to later on. And it was just this release of not having to just wait for little moments in a flat where people are banging on the roof, your ceiling if you're too loud, and you can only write at certain times. It just wasn't creatively inspiring for me. But yeah, I got to go to this place, and I didn't have an acoustic guitar. I've been borrowing one off Rob for years. I'm not really a guitar player. I write songs from melodies, for vocal melodies, and I just wrap something around it. It's not anything I'm embarrassed about. I'm not a pure technical guitarist, but I nail what I need to play. So anyway, I went and treated myself a guitar because obviously it'd been a fucking rough time. And Callum came with me because he is a phenomenal guitarist, and I wanted his has an opinion on what to do with my budget, things like that. So we were sitting down in a guitar or something like that. And I just started playing these chords and instantly was like, fuck, that sounds nice. So I bought the guitar. I was going to Rannoch the next day. I got home and I went, I'm going to play those chords again. And again, like track one we just listened to, I sung a vocal melody and instantly knew that was it. Fast forward, going to Rannoch, and honestly, start to finish, about, other than the verse, which I wasn't quite sure of, and I went and sat in the sun with a coffee and got it, it was probably start to finish about an hour. And I demoed it that night, and all the boys have obviously heard that original demo, And it was the first and last time, and there's no shame in crying at all. But sometimes I feel things so deeply inside, but it doesn't come out. It's the first and last time that I've actually cried when recording a song. But like, it was like this outpouring of release, and I've spoke to people close to me since that time. And it really felt like he was like a lot more with me, like as if it was like, yeah, don't worry, laddie, like I get it, you know what I mean? And yeah, like crying in that song. I remember like crying, finishing the take, and then just sitting there like laughing. I'm fucking sitting in this beautiful place, pitch black. I've not looked outside for ages. I'm sitting here greeting because I just wrote a song, and I started laughing to myself again. Then cried a bit more, but then, you know, knew we had something there. I knew that song was all about feeling. I knew that song, there was nothing pretentious about it. And yeah, I'll spin it in a second, but I know you guys, it's so personal to me, but I know you guys feel a lot of emotion for that song as well, eh?
Yeah, we felt that as soon as you sent us the first demo. I think all of us immediately just kind of simultaneously wanted to sort of sing your praises for it, but also didn't really know what to say, because it was just kind of the song was saying it all. But I think I've spoken before, like on our podcast thing, about when we went on tour. That was when my gran had died, so I kind of, yeah, you know, that song meant a lot to me as well, because it was like processing real grief happening in real time. So it was like, you did the job of writing the lyrics for me, and it's obviously a very different circumstance, and there's a very personal story for you. But yeah, I think everyone kind of can feel what that song's meant to be saying, and yeah, it's definitely one of the ones that's stuck with me ever since then.
Like you say, I mean, sure, someone will jump in to say something here, but like I said before, man, like when you've given that song everything you have, it is everybody else's as well. Like that song does belong to you, not just because you're in the band as well. Like the guitar, the guitar that's on that is unbelievable. And as much as the lyrics are obviously personal, and the chords, the production, the bass, the drums, everything's thoughtful behind it. And, your lead parts in that 100% bring me just as many goosebumps as anything I'm saying, you know? So, yeah.
Oh.
Do you guys want to add anything, or will we go and listen to that?
Let's go for your listen, man.
Let's do it. So, everyone mute.
Have it. There we go.
Yeah, I think that just hits you right in the feels, that song, doesn't it? And I think, not to blow like huge amounts of smoke, up your kettle, but it's well known that you're an absolutely incredible lyricist amongst a million other talents that you've got. But I think what's a really, really difficult thing to do is to convey emotion that's in a relatable way. Like a song like that, it could have been written in so many different ways, and I'm not for 1 second saying it's a simple song at all, but I think the message is very clear, and the fact that it's so relatable, I think is one of the most beautiful things about that song. And yeah, I think it's criminal the fact we've only got we played that song a couple of times, haven't we, live? Not as many as the rest of the ones on Lune, but certainly when we get back to playing live, can't wait to play that one.
For sure, yeah. I appreciate the words, man. Yeah. I don't know if there's anything to add there, but I think with that one, it was very aware of, and I didn't have the energy or heart, like mental. It needed to be written. Whether that had, you talk about there, whether a song takes 5 minutes or takes 5 years, sometimes that happens. It's not really a reflection on how good the song is. Just sometimes it doesn't fit. It's not ready to be finished. Like I feel that. I'm more like a receiver. You just get ideas when they come. It's not that I sit and try and write something. It has to just flow. So yeah, with that one, I think whether it was going to be Wolves or not, whether I even enjoyed the song after it was done, it just needed to like pass through me, for want of a better word. So when it was simple in its structure, whereas sometimes I might have gone and tried to redraft it, there was no like energy to make that any less than just authentic as it could be, like, basically.
Yeah, I think when we heard that,
it's like, take it, Andy, on you go.
I was going to say, I think when we all heard that, the first demo that you recorded, it was just so real and so honest. And I think when we made like the decision as a band to then take that song forward as a full band, as opposed to just being a solo song by you, Kyle, there was a little bit of me which is like, fuck, right, we really want to do our own parts justice to give this song everything that it is.
Yeah, totally.
And like, there's a lot of songs where, I don't know, we can fanny around playing so many different parts for it, which is, we'll take it to pre-promo, eventually work it out. But there was a lot in this song where I worked, and we all worked behind the scenes, make sure that this song, whatever our parts were, was going to give this song what it needed to make it super special.
Mm-hmm.
And it also reminds me, man, like, because editing the Wolves tour video, listening back to it there, that's one of the songs which plays over the tour video, and it just totally reminds me, man, of like the fun times we had in Europe as well. It's also not just, obviously there's the meaning behind the song, which is fucking incredible, but it also just reminds me of just the boys and being on the road and all the good stuff aside as well. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That like it's so easy to, well, not easy, but it's you'd often think a song that's about that kind of thing would be slow and thoughtful, and maybe be like an acoustic version, just Kyle and a guitar. And I love that this was just immediately brought into the fold as like, no, this is full band, full energy, potentially one of the most like maximum effort right from the beginning all the way through to the end songs that we actually have. There's barely a chance to breathe in that song. Totally, I think that actually makes me feel more of what grief feels like than sort of deliberately slow, depressing songs,
And anybody like tuning in, or met my dad or whatever, like, not to make this all about that, man. Like, I'll speak at length about him and honor him in loads of ways, but tonight's not just about that. But that's him. It was a sad moment, but I don't want that song to only bring me sadness. Like, I get absolute feels in a sad way listening to that, but I also think, like, fuck, to write something like that, in as honest and powerful a way as you can. Like, that's just a reflection on how much you love that person, and that's a great thing. And seeing those tour videos and thinking about where we've played that on the same stage as the Deftones the night before in Prague and stuff like that, it's
totally.
like, you'd be like, fucking well in there, laddie. You know what I mean? Like, you know. So
Totally,
it is all good. You know, it's not good, but life moves on, and you've got to look at the love behind it all, not just the pain. You know.
Yeah.
100%.
So again, if anyone has just joined in, I'm not really sure who the kind of viewers and stuff are. I'll quickly flick again to the Big Cartel link up. So you can grab, as I said, only 250 copies of this have been made. So you can grab the bundle with the t-shirt, or just the vinyl on its own, or just the t-shirt on its own if you don't have a vinyl player, or you don't collect vinyl, or whatever. If you still want to support it, the t-shirt would be absolutely awesome. It's important to say as well, this is a pre-order, and that's because of the time this has taken because of COVID. We actually had this ready about 2 months ago. I wanted to launch it, but there's been such a backlog for these guys in this small factory and we wanted to use someone that was really reputable with loads of people in the band community that we knew. You know, they didn't want, we didn't want to gamble somewhere cheaper and then not get what we've designed this product to be. They just had a really, really big backlog and told us it would be 7th of July. So we've actually been sitting on this for a good few months. It'll be about 2 months from ordering time, but you know, hopefully we get these shifted, because as soon as these are shifted, we can pay Neil Kennedy and we can book pre-production and the album. Not at all that Neil's like, you know, holding us to ransom or anything like that, but you know, in these uncertain times, we're not going to be able to book anything until we've got some cash money, quite understandably. So we hope this all goes well. I've got a Kyle, is that a golf fleece? This is literally just a long sleeve t-shirt, man.
Finished at my cheeky 18 hole.
Oh, guys, we've got an absolute VIP in the mix. Richard Cooper. Yes, Pop's in the house. How you doing, Rich?
How's it going, Rich?
I can't help but read that comment in your accent in my head.
Fucking hell.
Brilliant.
It's okay. Rob gets to do that in English.
Yeah, Rob's allowed to. Anyone, we'll try and introduce everybody that we speak about. So Rich used to be the landlord of an awesome bar, kind of social club down in Balcombe in Sussex, and it was an amazing place, and we went there on tour. It wasn't our usual touring route. It wasn't like a main kind of venue where bands played, but you know, we had one date to fill a few years ago, and I put it up, and he was like, you know, I'm a rocker. I've just moved to a sleepy part of England. And we then had it like first date and every subsequent tour, all the way down to Europe, all the way through England. We'd always stop in here because he looked after us so well. The people there were so hospitable. So here's to you, Rich. Absolute legend. And we really hope we see you again on our way.
Also, that on the last European tour, am I right in saying, Callum, was that your first gig with the band? Was that Balcombe?
First ever show with the band. Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Your debut, man.
And
so what a place to have it, man.
Yeah, it was a good place. Very, very good vibe. Really comfy stage with some enthusiastic people in the crowd. It was just the perfect chance to sort of let loose.
We actually supported the Blockheads as there as well. Hit me with your rhythm stick. Hit me. Brilliant.
Yeah, that was a classic. That was the drive down just after Beast from the East, so there was so much snow all over the UK. And it was
in the middle of it.
Whether we're even going to make it down or not. So we had a pretty damn hefty day, a big brutal drive. We weren't quite sure we were going to make it or not, but we did. It was a long day in the van with the boys, just doing band karaoke and stuff and fannying around. And I remember when we got there, we normally try to limit ourselves for like pre-show beers, just so we can stay tight as a band. and I'm pretty sure I had like 2 pints or something, but because we've been driving all day, it went straight to my head, and I think we played the full set in like 20 minutes or something, just got so fast. Yeah, coming off stage,
And
our
encore was a song we'd already played.
Yeah,
love that.
Absolutely it was. Yeah.
I like to pretend that was because, you know, it was just so well requested, but you'd just joined the band and we'd only had like 10 songs we could play together.
Yeah, we'd had
one more
practice.
song. You've played
one practice
before.
for about 6 hours.
Brilliant. Right. Next up is Haunt Me. Anybody want to give Haunt Me a little intro? I can talk about what it's about, but anyone want to take a wee lead here? Rob, you're looking?
Yeah, I'll take a wee. So, Haunt Me. What is beautiful about this song is it's literally 4 chords all the way through, and you would not think it. As well as being an amazing song. I can't even remember how we wrote this one, to be honest. So I don't know why I was putting my hand up there.
I'll go.
Yeah, somebody bail me out.
Okay, I'll jump in. Actually, the 4 chord thing, I play guitar, and like I said before, I'm not like any sort of like trained guitarist. Like I just self-taught. So, you know, I play the same 4 chords, but in 3 different versions. So like verse, pre-chorus, and chorus is like the variation of a bar chord for 4 chords. Then like a filled out bar chord, so little accents for 4 chords, and then like I don't even know what this chord's called, but when I'm hitting the bass note and the highest note and then letting the 2 open, I guess just an open chord. But again, the same 4 chords, so just as a slight different like air to it on each section of the song. But it was quite recently we were like, that's the same fucking thing again and again and again. But this song,
that's how we write though. We all talk to each other just in feel rather than any sort of technicalities.
That's correct. Absolutely correct. Yeah. Like, oh no, that doesn't feel right. We need to have more of this. Yeah. More color, more green. But this one was inspired by some, you know, I won't talk about that person because it's personal things, but somebody else's kind of losses and stuff like that. And again, writing for somebody else's point of view, now looking back, I've had some losses and I associate it with myself. So I'm doing what I say other people do with my songs, or I do with other people's songs. But I listen to this now and it feels about me. It actually wasn't about me when I wrote the lyrics. It's about somebody else's loss and pain. There's also some imagery there from Twin Peaks. I absolutely love David Lynch's imagery and really weird direction style. And, you know, look behind the curtain, tell me what is real again, or tell me what you see is there. And, you know, the falling and all this kind of stuff. The imagery behind it is that kind of other world, like other plane, like what is reality? You know, when you lose someone, are they still there? Like it's all this kind of stuff, like ghosts or spirits, or is that just they've moved plane? I know that sounds a little geeky. It makes sense in my head. And yeah, obviously the video for this is one that really means a lot to me. It's my nephew Arlo. He's got the long hair in the video, and his best friend Finn. They did great, and my friend John McGlenihan, we went out to Burnt Island where they live and filmed that throughout the day, and it was a brilliant experience, a beautiful experience. And you know, I had this idea for the video that it was going to be that. I don't want to. I mean, by this time we probably can give away the cliffhanger. It's probably not got that many views, but I would urge you to go and check that out. That's on our YouTube page. I'll put that in the comments just now. But yeah, it really explores that, you know, as someone who you lose, are they gone? You know, I guess that, yeah, make up your own kind of add-on to that. But yeah, let's just listen to the song. I realize I'm rabbiting on there, but without giving about specifics about somebody else, I can't really say the exact thing. So let's mute and listen to Haunt Me. It's a heartfelt track.
Haunted Muse. So good, man.
Hello, I'm back.
Hey.
There's something really weird, like some gremlin. As soon as like you hit play on the screen share, my screen just freezes, so I need to leave and come back.
Rob's brother has hit the nail on the head there.
Is he giving us a sneak peek into how my nephew came about?
Just what to say, Michael, is that a little bit of an insight there? How Yorkshire babies are made. But no, like a lot of feeling, a lot of vibes in that. Like I don't want anyone to think that, I mean, because I wrote that from someone else's point of view, that I don't have those feelings behind it. It's a very personal song. I just can't get into too much details, but yeah, it's just about other people's loss that's close to me. But yeah, I love that song, and again, another one that wasn't really overthought. Probably for anyone who cares, maybe no one. That's probably the vocal performance I'm most proud of. It's not like the top of my range or anything like that, but there's like falsetto in there, there's like a grainy kind of mid-tone, there's low, really subtle, to me, interesting and not obvious harmonies, and very, very little editing. I worked hard to like lock all that in. We've got a question here. Didn't some random guy cover Haunt Me? It's a really weird one. It's what were they called? Is it Nightmare or something by Cherry? There's this like anime looking thing, and it's a YouTube channel where there's like 250,000 subscribers, and they just speed up kind of rock songs, and they usually use pretty famous ones. So we got we got somebody saying,
forgot all about that.
Yeah, totally, me too.
Someone's like, "Oh, Cherry's covered your song." I was like, "Fuck's Cherry," and it sounds like sounds like Hayley Williams basically is covering it, and I was cool with it. I wrote to the guy and I said, "Hey man, like a wee link wouldn't go amiss, like you've not asked us, so if you could maybe just show people where to hear the original." That was the only thing. But listen, if people are listening to our tunes, I think we gave up trying to make money off it a long time ago. Again, this goes for this vinyl too. Every penny, guys, is literally so we can make you a second album. If you want a second album from us and you can afford £20, it would go a long, long way to speeding up this process. The songs are there, 17 tracks ready to record, but we need that income. So we hate asking this. We thought about a Just Giving, a GoFundMe and stuff for years, and we just cannot bring ourselves to do it. I'm not knocking anyone who does, but we're not going to offer you bass lessons from Rob or fucking vocal lessons from none of that bullshit. We're bringing you a lovely package with some fucking heartfelt songs that sound amazing on wax, and that'll help us make the second album if you'd like to hear it. Nightcore, Taylor says that's who did it.
Ah, sweet.
What a name.
Yeah, I guess like
Nightcore.
20 quid, that's probably going to be the price of a pint when the pubs are back. So what would you rather buy, 1 pint or an amazing vinyl or an amazing t-shirt? I mean, it's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, it's a yes from me, Jim. I just realized that people can see us when we're listening to the tunes.
Yeah, we're down like the wee side. That's what I've been like rocking out.
I've been doing some questionable things now, but that's cool. Okay, right. People asking me to post a link again. Guys, tell me, does this show up okay in the comments, like as a clickable link? If not, then we can maybe get someone to go and do that. I'll pop that in the comments. Let me know, guys. Like, there's no like backstage magic here. We're just using a thing here called StreamYard, and we're getting a different view to you guys. There's like, I can see the comments. I'm putting them on the stream, but we're not on Facebook. Facebook Live doesn't let us do more than one person. So, yeah, let me know if you can click that. I don't know if you can. Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Marion. Cheers, Taylor.
Right.
Okay, so the next one is Always Be Mine. Now, in terms of song meaning, this one's a straight-up love song for my wife. But in terms of, yeah, you guys don't need personal details about that. It's just no, it is just a love tune. But yeah, in terms of riffs and creating this song and stuff, I think it's one of my Yeah, we've gone from Haunt Me being my favourite vocal performance. This is, when people ask me, like, what's your favourite guitar track to play, always be mine. The chords are something I thought, are they too simplistic? Because they go, like, all the way down and all the way up. But it just fucking is a groove. And playing this live, especially when I don't have to sing. See, when we're in practice, I don't care. You could give me, like, Sold Out Tea in the Park or Practice and don't need to sing, and I would pick Practice because I love rocking out to this, gain on full. But Callum, me and you spent a lot of time getting this one right, didn't we? Because there's not really part for crazy leads. It had to be like a kind of dual thing.
Yeah, that was tough. I was trying to be all fancy and think of ways to kind of spook it up with some delay or something, but it just wasn't working. So we didn't have until we got into the studio.
Yeah, we're sitting here playing Red Dead Redemption, and then every 2 minutes, like, going and trying to get like some ideas and stuff like that, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a good time. But then, when we finally got into the studio, it was, I had a sort of idea of what I wanted, but not totally sure how to execute it. So I think myself and Bruce's brains combined and made something pretty good out of it.
Big time.
But then there was also that big triumphant moment with turning the riff into just a single string. And I think that really beefed it up. So I'm also pretty proud of that riff in my own little way.
Fucking right, man. I mean, something I've never seen. I've never seen this in my kind of time in the band, where we play a whole riff and then we had to like down tune to like drop A for like one note. It was mad, like the whole riff, and we're like, oh, it doesn't go low enough, this one note, to be like the harmony. And we went, oh, we'll do the high version. We went, nah, it doesn't sound mean enough. So we had to like pure down tune, and Callum just figures out a way with pedals live. So yeah. Yeah. So here we go. Let's listen to it. And any of you guys got anything to add to Always Be Mine other than a straight up rocking tune?
Yeah, man, I just have full sympathy for my cymbals on this song. And I'm a hard hitter anyway, but this is one song I just go balls to the wall at. So yeah, R.I.P. Zogins.
Yeah. This is the one you need the napkins on them for sure, don't you?
Honeybee, man.
Right, let's do it. Let's listen. Oh, I need to mute myself. Here we go.
I may end up freezing again, but I will come back like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's a good time.
That is a
Bingo,
groovy
man.
mo.
Yeah, that's an absolute belter. Right, we're getting into the business end.
I was gonna say just when that kicks in after or just before the middle eight with the big when you do your big scream, Kyle. Always reminds me again every time I listen to the song of like I play that tour video in my head and it's you booting the head off a snowman in Prague outside Milan's flat that probably some poor wee kid spent all day making.
Yeah, that was we were going to our digs. We played an amazing show in Prague and then a long drive to get somewhere out to stay with Andy's friends, and we rocked up there, and there was this beautiful snowman, and for some reason like van fever had just hit me and just walked past it and just took the he'd clean off it.
Van fever is a real thing though. You've got to get it out. Better that than kicking his kitchen sink when you get inside.
Yes, correct. Yeah, lads, I'm going to have to, as professional as this is, I'm going to have to take a gentleman's break at the toilet. Setting the scene, though, can you guys let them know kind of how we've been working on the demos and stuff and the process for the next album?
For sure, man. Mm-hmm. It's actually been quite a stressful process, but in a good way. You know what I mean? I think like the four of us, like we've got, even though we're all very similar, we've also got complete opposite styles at the same time, but which isn't a bad thing. But it also makes it
That's
very
never
difficult.
Been more obvious to me. Yeah,
man, it's made it really difficult to come to conclusions on what we should be writing, or not necessarily what we should be writing, but what comes high up in the list of what we all like. So I think, like I said at the start, we had 50 demos to start with, and trying to get that narrowed down to 17 that we're at now. It's been fucking hard. Jesus Christ.
Oh man, yeah.
Like, I kind of feels like Rob and I are on the very much the same level with what we like, and then Callum and Kyle got very similar tastes as well.
We're just it's just more emo than you guys. You just like big fat riffs, and Andy, you just
big
any song that's fast, you'll just fall for it. I can see it a mile off.
100%, man. It has to be on the record.
Yeah, and I can see the appeal. You know, it does make it a tougher process, but I think when we all boil them down and finally get round to agreeing on which ones actually mean the most, then it's very rewarding. And I've never quite gone through that kind of process where you really have to take other people's opinions to the point where you just have to let go. I'm sure there were a few in all of our cases where we thought that's maybe one of my favorites. It has to make it on there. But then as a band we don't agree on that, it's like, well, yeah, got to let it go. That's not what we're going for. I enjoy playing it, but that doesn't mean it's a good song for us band. You know.
Yeah, no, I totally get you, man. It's funny because you said you've never been a part of a process like that. Like, I'm the exact same. I mean, it's going back a long time, but like my high school band, if we wrote a song when we recorded our album at Clearwater Studios in Perth, if you wrote a song, it was just assumed that, okay, well, that's on the album now, regardless how shite it was.
Exactly. Yeah, because you were scrambling for content. It's like, if you can reach 12 songs, yes, I've got an album.
I'll tell you what, we'll write that and then we'll do it in acoustic as well. That's 2 tracks. We're filling up the album quickly, boys. That's how it was like.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Plus the Slipknot cover, of course. That'll sort it out.
Oh, definitely. You can't leave that out. I think there's like, the songs that we've got, the 17 songs, there's some absolute incredible songs that haven't even made, the kind of pre-production list. So, there might be some bonus content. There may even be some, giveaways, and if we come to do pre-orders and things. But yeah, definitely, I think the songs that we've got, the 17 are unreal. I know every band, this is the best songs we've ever written, man. It's every band says that. I don't know how many bands believe that, but I genuinely believe that these are the best songs that we've ever written, and I'm really excited for everyone to kind of hear them when they come out eventually. But yeah, the demoing process, it's been brilliant, hasn't it? I mean, it's great just to be like creating music again with each other. You know, I was kind of playing a lot of guitar and doing a lot of covers and that during lockdown, but I wasn't really being creative in a way of where I was, you know, writing my own stuff or doing the band and writing parts and things. So to get back to that has been a real kind of breath of fresh air and really just kind of invigorated you again, and just giving you a buzz.
The heavier parts are heavier, and the melodic parts are more melodic than they've ever been.
But really, it's been interesting coming out because, like, I think the three of you all kind of got into recording a lot of these fairly early on after I'd left, because we weren't really sure what was going to happen in that way. Mm-hmm. So when I first got some of these demos, they were like fully formed songs. So that was a really fun way to sort of slot myself into the demoing process. It was like, okay, you've all got it completely figured out. I'm just going to have to bounce off of that. But then some of the other songs are absolute bare bones, almost nothing to them. So there's been so much variety, so many different ways to kind of dig ourselves into it.
Yeah, totally, man.
100%.
Being quite lucky in a way is actually that we've all got stuff at home that allows us to at least roughly record demos. You know, like I've got an electric drum kit which I'm lucky enough I can just plug into GarageBand, you know, which isn't the best recording equipment, but you know, it does the trick. And that you guys have all got, I don't know what you call them. What are they called? Interfaces? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Is that the word? Yeah. Tech line here.
Magic boxes.
Yeah, exactly. Magic sound boxes. But it allows us to actually spend a lot of time, even though we can't be up in person, to get in the practice room and write music together. It gives us that, at least that freedom to do it at home, and then send the tracks to each other, give our feedback, and then work on those and strip them back again. And then so we'll be very, very ready to step foot into a studio or even into a practice room, because we're going to be in a much better position to know what we're going to be playing. And that's also like what you were saying before, Rob, that even though we've narrowed 50 demos down to 17, and even though some of these other demos aren't going to be in that 17, doesn't mean that we're not going to play them as a band in the future, because like we've not jammed them properly as a full band yet, so we don't know what the full potential of those songs are yet. So we've not explored that. So there's still a lot of time there to explore that and make them fucking incredible.
100%. That's just the starting process. You know, we put everything through like a filter, and it goes through the filter so many times. The next process is us. We've now got finally those selection of songs, and a lovely comment from Hannah there, Rob. When did Rob start looking like Matthew McConaughey?
Hey, we'll take it.
We will take that. Brilliant. He's looking fantastic. We're now at the point where we can start really honing in and like just rewriting and re-demoing things for the sake of it, to see if one little thing changes for the better. And part of that is going to be going to the cabin at Loch Fyne, the cottage at Loch Fyne, where we pre-produced the first album, and bringing Neil from Southampton all the way up to be part of that. Like we've discussed doing this. This is what's going to be happening. So we're taking this album so seriously, to have fun as well, but to get his mind involved in it, to spend a week doing that before we even entertain going down to record proper. So yeah, I mean, we don't need to be telling you guys how much we care about this. You know that. Next song here is Wish Forever Was Today. And this song is all about, I mean, the next four songs kind of really about this, like when your mental health is in a really bad spot. This one's probably one of the most kind of brutal in terms of lyrics I've ever written, being honest with how I felt at those times. But also, I felt it had a really poignant lyric, and we released this one through COVID, but we'd recorded it months before. But this one has a lyric, a chant. I know the struggles you face, because I've felt the pain. So brothers and sisters, don't fade into the dark. We'll carry each other through the rain. And I really felt that was really poignant through COVID, and we were going to sit in it a bit longer. And I thought, we need to get this out here, guys. Just for our little part of saying, we feel it too. Like, we'll get through this. Like, you know, don't be making like permanent solutions to a temporary problem, because this is the toughest shit that any of us have faced in our life, other than like personal tragedy, you know, in terms of mental health, not being able to see the people you love, not being able to do the things you're passionate about. It's been fucking brutal. And we were so lucky to have friends of the band from all over the world donate their voice to a little section on this song. So I believe, if you're still on the call, Marion from New York, you were on there. We had friends in Paris, in Prague, in Aberdeen, in Holland, in London, in Spain, all donate their voice to this, and many other places. And that was something, you know, we just wanted to do to make people feel more of a part of it. And we want to make people feel more a part of what we do in every way. So we'd always want to learn and listen to that. So you guys can give me your feedback anytime on what you'd like us to do as a band, or what we could do to make you feel more part of it, because we're not going to be famous. This is not the kind of band we are. We want to make real connections. My ambition is to have one of you guys listen to one of our songs and think, that's my favorite song in the world. That shit lives forever, you know? So anything we can do to make that a stronger connection, we want to. So yeah, this song's about being totally honest with feeling like absolute shit, but knowing that you can't be doing anything drastic, because you know, we'll get through it, and there's a lot of people that feel the same way.
It's such a shame when all your best friends are ex-friends, 'cause the things that came between us, you didn't believe what I said. I wished it happened differently. And it's such a shame to place the weight of the world in the heart of a girl, and she shows her blame and soldier on through. I wish that things were different with you, but you can't just to take, and it breaks me again. I remember all the things you said. I sit and I cry.
I like to think there was a few living room circle pits going on there. Like.
I hope so.
I feel like that is the best James Bond theme that has ever been written.
I think that every time.
The strings. There's one here though. Taylor just saying it's, you know, the music's been helping him through the pandemic and in dark places. Man, that means a lot. And
Totally.
you know, you know Taylor. And if anyone's not wanting to write that or doesn't feel that, obviously that's good that you're not in a dark place. But yeah, if anyone has ever felt like that, absolutely reach out to us, because if you don't feel that you've got somebody, you definitely have us, because we, as I said, I'm not speaking out of turn when I can say that every one of us in this band like relates and gets on and loves each other so much, because we have all gone through similar things with anxieties and mental health and loss and depressions and manic things, like all in different ways, all in total different ways. You know, like some of us really panic being out on the road, and some of us get healing from that, and some of us are manic up and then crashing lows, and some of us deal with just like a numbness. You know, we've all got different shit. There's not just one issue. So yeah, get, you know, always here if you don't feel like you got somebody. So on this, you know, 10 years as a band, which is pretty crazy, obviously not in this lineup, but this lineup is the longest lineup we've ever had. So everyone here is the longest running members. But
cheers to that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, eh?
Definitely.
We're wanting to do different things. So obviously the album will be out within the 10th year. This vinyl Lune will be out within the 10th year. You might have also noticed that the debut album isn't on Spotify at the moment. That's because we've taken it down to re-release as a reissue. It won't be physical. It'll just be coming out digital. But we wanted to add a couple of B-sides, Change and Leon, which just missed off that album first time round. And we wanted to bring it out and just kind of, I don't know, just inject a little bit of new life into it. And with a second album coming out this year, we just thought it'd be fun to like re-release that with a little bit of a difference. So we're just trying to do some things this year to kind of just, I don't know, celebrate the achievement of making it as 10 years of a band, because whether that was just like, you know, rehearsing in a garage and doing the odd kind of pub gig, which is absolutely fine as well, or whether it's been guys really trying to like push it as much as they can, I think it's an achievement to last that long with guys and, you know, never have had fallouts that lead to people needing to walk away. When people have left this band, it's just been for personal things. That's fine. But I've said, you know, I've had some of my oldest and dearest friends in this band. You're now my dearest friends in amongst that circle, but like guys that I grew up with, Eggy and Chick and the White Brothers did amazing. Obviously, Brian Mackay were in here and did great things. But, you know, this version of the band, and it's no slight on anyone, I think character-wise and how we all feel about music is, I can only speak for myself, not Rob and not you guys and bands you've been in, but this is the best feeling and the best creative kind of relationship and chemistry I've ever had in music, you know, in terms of respect for each other and supporting each other's ideas, being collaborative.
Totally, man. I think this new album coming is going to speak for itself as well.
Yeah, 100%. So this one next is The Peak Beneath the Sea. So I'll give a quick brief. I do understand I'm talking rakes, and you know that's not new to folk, but obviously I'm giving a wee insight about how it's written, and then I love the others to beef it out. This one was riff-wise was at a wee practice studio in Edinburgh, very near the castle. We used to go and practice there when Mackay was in the band.
Yeah, just at the grass market, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really cool location and stuff. And yeah, we used to just go down there on a Friday night and, you know, to the detriment of our partners, like be gone for the whole weekend. But that's what I mean when I say taking that break. We needed it as a band. We've done 9 years of that every weekend, every holidays, people coming second and making sacrifices for us. So this riff it came together. The song kind of flowed together quite naturally. But lyrically, it was about an escape and finding an escape when you're in those dark moments. So not just about feeling the depression and things like that. It's more about like going to a place. And for me, it was the place I actually proposed to my wife. We would go camping there quite a lot, a place called Loch Morlich. And you would see the reflection of these, you know, the mountains of Cairngorms in the loch. So obviously not quite a sea, but, you know, it looked like mountains underneath the water and things like that. The peak beneath the loch didn't quite roll off the tongue as well. But it's all about, like, you know, when things were getting really, really tough, we would go there and it felt like an escape. It felt like I could breathe again. I was in like nature and forestry and stuff, and it was just like, that is being able to exhale a bit. But other than that, which makes it a pretty standard song, this one has such extra meaning to me because a dear friend of us who was in loads of other bands, Hopeless Heroic and loads of other projects, David Knight, he was known to us as Di. He was like such a talented, such a happy, lovely, just lover of life, lover of music. Whenever we'd go down and play London, we'd stay at his house, him and his husband Rory. He would just put us up, he'd get us great gigs, played Camden Rocks, and he kind of got us those opportunities. And he had one of the former sound engineers from Bring Me the Horizon actually mix this song basically for free, like absolute mates rates, just making sure his like hourly rate was covered and nothing else. It's not my favorite song out of all these. It's not one that has crazy meaning. I think it's a good song, it deserves its place in it, there was no question about that. But the reason it now feels so much to me is that Di was for free when we had no manager. He was really trying to push us, and he said, look, I think getting this guy to mix this might be a good avenue, and we'll see what comes from it. And, you know, nothing did, but it was just, it's got so much of him on it. It's a different mix to all the rest of them. All the rest were mixed by Bruce Rintoul and mastered by Ed Woods. This one was mixed by... I've actually forgot the guy's surname because it's all about Di in my mind, but it was Phil.
Yeah, Phil Gornell, man. So he's on his way to being like a bit of a superstar producer. Like he was, like you said, he did a lot of live stuff with Bring Me. He was the kind of the sound guy for All Time Low for years, and he's branched out in production. So he's done a lot of production with them. I know he produced one of the, I think it was maybe the last Death of Anna album. I think he produced that and did a lot of songwriting as well. Those guys. So yeah, he's a really, really talented guy. You know, he was based in Sheffield when we worked with him, and I'm pretty sure he's over in LA now. But yeah, just a super talented dude.
Yeah, so like that was cool, but like I guess that I kind of beat around that, not saying actually, but you know, Di tragically passed away from cancer. Like he was battling it for such a long time, and when he was managing us, was still battling it and was still coming out to gigs and trying to push us onto things, and just a measure of the guy. So now when I think of this song, it's absolutely him. So yeah, I'd like to raise a glass to Di, I guess, and we'll listen to Peak Beneath the Sea. I don't think anything else is important to be said other than that. So yeah, I'll hit you up with the Peak Beneath the Sea.
It was also really fun shooting the video for that song, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The bridge going to Southside. Was it the end of Argyle Street in Glasgow? Is that where it is?
Yeah, and the motorway by the
so.
Clydeside River. Yeah.
Yeah, like the M8 bridge over there. It was crazy, wasn't it? Because it was pretty late at night. I think it was like maybe 10, 11 o'clock at night or something. And literally just under the bridge, right like near some houses and that, Andy beating the hell out of his kit and that.
And there was no like dampeners or anything on the kit either. It was full just fucking balls slugging, and like it echoes like fucking there as well. So it was loud. I mind one of my friends, she was a yoga instructor, and when we post something on Instagram about that people getting shot, she's like, I thought I could fucking hear drums outside. I thought I was going crazy because she's literally on the other side. I was like, oh. Sorry. But yeah, driving past, like beeping their horns, like beep, beep, beep. Yeah, that was interesting. That was really cool. That was what Cons, wasn't it? Cons visual, like isn't Insta.
Yeah, he's now doing wavy music. So yeah, check out that if you need any video.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess again we can for anyone who's I'm not checking who the people who are logged on are, but again we'll just take another quick trip to Big Cartel Lane. So yeah, we started the night yesterday with 250 copies of these. I've not looked at updated sales totals, but we've been getting some steady sales through from last night and today. So that 250 will be going down. Amazing. 100%. Thank you so much. Yeah. Again, the gist of it is we'll never ask you for money for nothing. We want to bring you a beautiful package, beautiful artwork on T-shirts, a beautiful package design and lyrics on the inside of a vinyl. We've never released a vinyl before. We need to sell these to be able to make record number 2. So a big thing you can do tonight as well. We don't have hundreds of people watching the stream, but that's cool. We've got people who we care about. A big thing you guys can do is pass it on to your friends. Like, let them know if they collect vinyl, if they like music of our kind of stuff, if, they think they just want to support kind of independent bands, if they just like cool merch and T-shirts. Stick the link onto them. Like, it's really tough nowadays to post something on Facebook and get some likes. Like we've got like nearly 8,000 followers, and we'll post something up and it'll show me the analytics that 20 people have seen it. Now that's not me being big-headed, like, oh, more than 20 people need to see that. That's just ridiculous. People have chosen to like our page and only 20 people are seeing that. So we need people to organically share this kind of shit, or it's just useless now. It's useless even trying, Okay, what we'll do now is we will go to the next song, which is Places Unfamiliar. Now, I'll just do a very brief one on this, and then if anyone's got anything to say. This one was, and this is a pivotal song for me, because this was the first song where you can listen back to early Cope EP and For All Our Sins Were Golden, the first ever We Came From Wolves song and album tracks, and it's quite clear I'm kind of dancing around, like feeling, low and things like this. But we were writing for radio. I'll be honest there. I wasn't writing for like, I'm trying to pretend to be somebody else and I'm trying to like tick boxes. No, not at all. But anything I wrote, I had this background of like emotive, screamy, angsty, like fucking balls out, I don't give a shit music. But I made this band after a heavy band I was in, and I thought, right, let's make sure that it could get played. So we weren't trying to write a certain way, but whenever we'd write something, I would subconsciously sand the edges a little bit because I thought that was the right thing to do to try and get us all a career doing this. And I've no regrets over that because you're younger and you live and you learn and stuff. However, after a while of doing that and paying for PR and doing all these things that so many bands do, it just wasn't fulfilling me. We weren't getting what we wanted out of doing that, and it wasn't fulfilling me artistically, spiritually, whatever. Places Unfamiliar was the first song I feel where I kind of took the stabilizers off, took the rubber rings off, and went back to my roots. Whereas when I was a younger songwriter and didn't care about those kind of things, I was like having passion throughout everything I did. And Places Unfamiliar was the first one of any of these tracks you've heard tonight, and anything that'll come again, was the first Wolves song where I really think it was like no hold bars. And I think that comes across. I think you guys, obviously Callum, you weren't in the band at that point, but you guys must have, for better or worse, gone, whoa, Kyle's really changed up here. From going from songs like Am I Useful and Glasgow Stranger and stuff, again, 100% have their place, no issue with that. But there's quite a clear change in the road there, isn't there?
I think for me, like, I just felt like it was more like a maturing in your songwriting, Kyle, to be honest. Like, I know, like, the early stuff in the band, and, you know, I kind of see it as like three kind of distinct periods. You know, the early period, obviously, with Chicken Eggy in the band, where it was still quite pop punky. We all had those influences from earlier bands, and we've all played in different bands in that scene and things. And, you know, the second phase was with the White Brothers, where, you know, it kind of went to more of a kind of like a darker sort of poppy vibe, heavy pop. And yeah, we were all about, you know, trying and get stuff on the radio, and, you know, we were trying to get like good shows and, you know, supports and things like that. And then, yeah, this for me was really the beginning of the, you know, what is the current chapter of the band. And, you know, for me, I've always been into like heavier bands as well. You know, don't get me wrong, I absolutely like love the songs that we did in the you know, the previous two sort of phases, and I still listen to them all the time, just as I listen to this stuff all the time, which you know, is testament to how good the music is. But for me, yeah, it just felt like you know, your songwriting really matured, and, you know, it wasn't like a massive shock, or it didn't, you know, seem to me like it was, you know, a completely different style. It just felt like a natural progression. You know, we were maturing as songwriters, you were maturing as a songwriter, you know, and it just felt like the music was just progressing naturally. And yeah, you know, I think it's coincided with a really successful period in the band, you know, and getting a lot of good playlisting and reaching new people and being able to, you know, go and tour in Europe and things like that. And I think that probably wouldn't have happened if we would have kept, you know, sort of similar trajectory and a similar sound. So yeah, I'm loving it, to be honest.
Any young bands watching this, like, there's no right way, and 100, we would be nobody to tell anyone, so we've not like made it or whatever that is. But all I can say from personal experience, if there was ever anyone asking me, we paid for PR and all this, and yeah, we did get things like tea break and stuff, and that was phenomenal. And a lot of that was the hard work of a manager at the time, Andrew Dice, and obviously we had songs that people enjoyed, of course we did. But as soon as we started writing from the heart, and this song, and well, every song on Lune, whether it's the singles or the ones from Haunt Me, is what Rob and me are talking about here, is me just writing from the heart. Ever since we started doing that, we've had, like, you know, 500,000, 250,000 plays on songs, playlisting. We've gone to Europe 3 or 4 times for full tours. We've had so much more connection with actual fans, and we've not paid a penny for PR. We've not paid a fucking single penny. So I think there's a lot to be said for not trying to put things in a box and try and like put it on pedestals and pay people to include it in this and that. If you really are authentic about what you want to do as an art form, I think the right things will happen from it. You may not be famous, but the people that love it will at least connect it a little better, you know?
No, I completely agree, man.
Well, we can't come with that. On you go, Andy.
Yeah, I was going to say really quickly, what I really like about this song, what you were saying about the Spotify playing on that, we got shared on so many different playlists with Places Unfamiliar, and we played a show in Germany. I can't remember where it was. It's where you gave me a haircut outside in the car park.
Near Dortmund.
Yeah. We played with a band called Like a Mess. Lovely guys. We still keep in touch with those guys quite regularly.
Yeah,
Junge. Yeah, Junge. Yeah, fucking legends, man. The sound does. Anyway, so we just came off stage, and a guy came up to us in the audience, and he was like, "This is mental. Literally, I've heard you guys before. I listened to you guys on Spotify. I came up with a playlist, and you guys played a song, and it was places unfamiliar. And he hadn't like checked us out. He didn't know we were playing that night. It was just happened by chance that we were performing, and it's just that power of Spotify and these playlists that we happened to be listed on it, and then yeah, it just clicked in his head, and then he came up to us after it, and yeah, it was mental that just completely out the blue, completely random that he stumbled across us. It was just so weird.
It's like when you think of the number 250,000, it sounds like, oh, that's not a lot of plays. Some bands have 30 million.
Yeah,
but we saw in the wild that going to a random place in Germany, someone had come to a show not to see us and had gone, fuck, man, I was just listening to this track like 20 minutes ago. You know what? He didn't even know the band name. He was just in the crowd going, hold on, fucking, that's them. That's mad. They're from Scotland.
Yeah.
You know, so it just showing what like those kind of numbers are. That's real people in the world,
exactly.
all over, you know. So
Mental.
yeah, that was sweet. There's also a really cool bit. We never tell anyone bits like this. We like to keep loads of like wee bits from the studio in our songs. And at the start of this track, you'll hear the drums go after the guitars go. You hear the drums go boom boom, and Andy goes, "Ah, fuck," because he messed up the intro.
So, this was the this is the first track I'd recorded with We Came From Wolves. So I hadn't been in a studio since I was a young teenager, and then going into playing along to a click track and a metronome, I was fucking up left, right, and center, man, in this song. So yeah, that captured a pretty funny moment where we decided to keep that in. Yeah, it fitted it quite well.
100%. Yeah, it was class, and I love those things. I love hearing that music. But yeah, we've never really told anyone that. We just assumed they would hear it. So yeah, listen out at the start of this, and you'll hear Andy go, "Oh fuck," live in the drum room. So here we go. It's Places Unfamiliar, and as with all the songs in this, I felt it was the start of real We Came From Wolves, like real feelings in the band. This one was the first one written out of everything on Lune.
This isn't I came for me, and I just wish I could make you see this was never written all this time away in places unfamiliar. I'm drowning, I'm sinking through this water like a storm.
Can I appreciate Rob's sweet little bass lick before the wee break in that song? Oh, it's fucking lovely, man.
I guess I talked a lot there about like what that song meant in terms of writing style and what it meant for the band, but just a real quick touch on it. That's actually a pretty emotional song for me. Like maybe I feel if Rob's saying that he didn't actually notice a crazy different change, just a bit of a maturity in terms of the songwriting. For me, that was the first song where I'd been like, that was the first time where my mental health had really got to the point I was like, what's the point me being here and stuff like this. We're talking a good few years ago now as well, and I'm not trying to cop out saying I don't feel like that way sometimes anymore either, but like at this point it was like the first time I'd really woken up to that stark feeling. And I remember realizing it was because I'd come off an amazing tour and I'd had some real issues after that, and was looking at things in my life, and actually it's weird. I'm not ashamed because it was things I needed to go through, but I'm ashamed at like hurting other people, questioning was it them that were making me unhappy, and then spending months apologizing for that because it wasn't that at all. It's just I needed to realize that it was just how much I loved doing what, the long way around this is that, we're all born into this, like, no matter what your religion or spirituality is, we're all born into this very, very short time on an earth, and we're programmed to like, well, we just better make money and work in a job and that while we do that, and that just doesn't really cut it with a lot of people. And it certainly started to penny drop for me, and I was like, I've been on tour for 3 weeks doing amazing like things, like showing up. I wrote this to Callum once. I wrote a little I showed him my notes, and it was like, feeling like this is what you should do. You're great at it. You manage your day. You show up. You put an amazing show. You speak with people. You connect with people, all this. Then you go back to work and you're just treated like shit because you're a number. And I just couldn't deal with it, man. I couldn't deal with it at all. And that's what the chorus means on that. I know it's pretty obvious, but this isn't a game for me. And the artwork on Places Unfamiliar, when you go on Spotify, it's like, looks like yellowy kind of heather, and there's a wee cottage. That's the actual view from the train as I approach that little cabin where I go and do the writing. And that place that was Places Unfamiliar. Touring is Places Unfamiliar. But Places Unfamiliar is what saved my life, honestly, because going to places where it's unknown and just being yourself, having none of this, like, this guy thinks that of you, she thinks this of you, you're meant to be in this organization, you're not doing more efficient work. All this bullshit was starting to make me think, why the fuck do I even want to be a human on this earth? But then going to these places unfamiliar, and there's beautiful places to write, or these beautiful places to tour and do what like made me love life, was just like, fuck, mate, fill my cup full of that. I'm not asking to be a millionaire. I'm sleeping on fucking floors. I'm in a cottage where there's no Wi-Fi, and I'm eating pot noodles for 7 days straight, just playing my acoustic guitar and going for a walk. But this feels way better to me than putting on a shirt and tie and like, oh, hey, mate, by the coffee machine. Fuck that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Places unfamiliar is everything for me, really.
Yeah, well said, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I think... Go on, you go, Cal.
I was just going to agree. I think we all feel that tour is kind of where we're at our happiest. I think
For
whether
sure.
this is good news for you or not, I think that amazing European tour that we went on was maybe the sort of kick up the backside that I needed to finally sort of move away from home and find what I was looking for and stuff. That's still that kind of feeling that I'm chasing. I can't wait to get back to that. But I completely agree with that point that like there's a real realization when you're out there that you're like, that's why am I settling for less than this? Because this is me at my absolute happiest, and it's no frills. Like, it's not glamorous a lot of the time,
Exactly.
but you just get so much life from it.
Yeah, I spoke to on the podcast that I'm started. If anyone's interested, this isn't a shameless plug. I don't make money from it. The views are low, but we have really great conversations. It's called the Ammo Hour. You can find that on my personal profiles and stuff. But I recently spoke with Rose DeHoo, who was the vocalist in the band Stark when we first played in Arnhem in Holland.
Fucking incredible band, man.
Incredible vocalist and incredible people, all of them. And most people you meet perish. Some of my best friends in the world, and they're from bloody Paris. And you just meet them on tour, and they're in the same life as you. You know, if they're doing it for the right reasons. And the second time, or maybe the first. No, it was the second time we went to Arnhem. Jasper, I don't know if you'll see this, but I know he does. Appreciate the band. Thanks for that, Taylor. I think I'll keep that one there for quite a while. I'll link it in the show notes. Jasper Meinerink, how you pronounce that? He was the bassist in Stark, and we stayed at his house, and he had this like bike repair shop and coffee, and above it was his house. And then we went around to like a vinyl place and coffee, and then we went to like, you know, a smoking joint and coffee and a really nice bar and music. And I was like, that was the penny drop moment. I was like, nothing's ever going to scratch the itch for me like touring. But when I am home, why do I need to be on some prick's time just because I get a bit more money for it? And that genuinely was the catalyst for me waking up going, I need to get my own shop. It's not what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about music. But if every single day I'm going in listening to my own music, if I have employees who are treated with the respect and culture and tone I want to transmit, if that's the environment I'm coming into, my wife can come in, my friends can come in, and they're not getting, you know, a service, but they feel free to just come in and say hello. I'm not then in that world that I fucking despise. So I didn't care what it was. It could have been a coffee shop. It could have been a bar. It could have been a record store. I just settled on barbering because I thought that could help me as I travel as well. If I ever want to do that, I just take a pair of scissors and a clipper and I can go anywhere. But yeah, touring literally inspired me to change my life, and I honestly think it saved my life as well, because if I didn't write those songs, if I didn't explore these feelings I have, then I would have still been in that fucking horrible mental state, you know?
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Okay, right, let's go with the last tune of Lune. So 8 tracks. This is track number 8. Falling. Has anyone got anything to say about Falling before I put everyone to sleep some more?
It was definitely one of my favourites to play live. I mean, I've done this before, but I do like crediting Brian for some of these parts that he wrote. I mean, they're very fun to play live, and they were my introduction to this band. So this is one of the ones I remember most from the tour. That's kind of what stands out to me most.
Definitely, man. This tune is like, it's an absolute banger. Like when you just hear it on, you know, on Spotify or whatever. But see, playing it live is so much fun, and I think that's, you know, for me, I obviously love this band, and I love the music, and you know, even when we're not playing, I listen to our music because I'm such a fan of this kind of genre and stuff, and I'm so proud of the music we make. But yeah, getting to play songs like this, you know, when we're playing live and seeing the reaction from people who are in the crowd and things, it's an unbelievable feeling. And you know, I really hope that everyone out there manages to do something. How's it going, Wiley? To do something that gives them that buzz, because yeah, you know, life's too short to just be existing and going through it. And you know, this song, I think for me, is just probably, you know, top 3 to play live. I think everything about it is just so cool, so catchy, and just makes you feel alive.
This song really reminds me of. I totally agree with you there, Robsy, man. It's one of my favourite songs to play live as well. I was going to say, it really reminds me of playing a gig we played in London that Di got us in, and we played just before that. The 80s or the 70s glam rock, 80s glam rock song. Yes, Man, it was fucking incredible. That was the one song I remember where we had people proper crowd surfing.
Yeah.
And that was like, fuck me. This is a show, and they're digging it, which was really cool. But yeah, I remember playing that song, just looking at it and seeing a
Yeah,
real
Hundreds of people,
vibey
man. Yeah.
audience, man.
yeah, that was wild, man. We've played some shows where we know people like it. Maybe we've gone back a second or third time, things like that, or they don't know it, but they're just bopping their heads. We went down to that, and people in London, like, and here's the key: it was like young people as well, which was awesome to see. It was like younger generation than us, whereas our music's more niche to them. You know, these people obviously like that kind of alt rock, kind of post hardcore emo, whatever. And yeah, they're all singing along, and then they're throwing each other up in the air and that, and it was fucking class.
It was wild.
Yeah. I would say about this song, when I'm listening to our songs, this is a bold statement. I know I said like "Haunt Me" was my favorite vocal performance, you know, other bits and bobs. This song, when I sit and listen to it, I feel is maybe the most like complete song I've ever written. Like sections, vocal melodies, harmonies, the chant at the end always gives me memories of us being in the studio, like doing the chant together. I just feel like there's so many. I think somebody commented a couple of hours ago, I'm trying to keep up with them here, that, you know, more videos. The reason we've not done more videos, I love doing videos. Like Rob said before, a bit of a creative director. Every video we've ever done, apart from Am I Useful, which I hate. I love Artur Zaremba. He's an amazing director, a really good friend. But to the camera just be on me, you'll realize there's a theme within our videos. It's not about me. I feel really uncomfortable and I don't like watching it back. I always like to have a story and a theme, and like this, even if people don't get it, I don't really care. Like I get to play with like another aspect of imagery, which isn't usually my lyrics. And yeah, the reason we've not done more is literally money. We fund all of this ourselves, and that's why to make this album, literally we need. I'm not trying to like overplug it. If you like these songs, if you like listening to them, just own it. £20, you know, I know times are tough. Times are definitely tough, but £20, you own this, and you literally are allowing us to make this record. But when I sit and listen to this one needed a video. This one, For All Our Sins Are Golden, the very first song we ever released, that needed a video. So many needed a video, but this one missed out. To have Peak Beneath the Sea and Places Unfamiliar and Haunt Me and not have Falling, it's a regret for me. You know, but yeah, this song, I feel, you know, we end with this on Lune. We've changed the order of things compared to Haunt Me so that they literally flow together. We spent a lot of time. We obsess over every single detail in this band, like song order, artwork, the color of font on a fucking poster.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah,
we do 20 options, and everyone do your 1, 2, and 3, and then we do a point system. And believe me, nothing is thrown together. Whether you care or not, it doesn't change the fact we'll do that because we're all so passionate. And I feel, you know, in a painstakingly drawn out process, a song like Falling to finish last on this Lune, it's a special song, you know. So without further ado, let's go to Falling.
What a banger.
There we go. That is your 8
yeah.
tracks of Lune, like the 12 Days of Christmas, but better.
Like Sum 41 said, all killer, no filler, homies.
Exactly.
right.
So that's us there. One more time, I'm going to share this for anyone who's not seen it. Share screen. Okay, Chrome tab. I mean, this is what the YouTubers do. They just talk you through what they're doing because they're really illiterate. Yeah, so you can get the album, like we said before. If we go into here, it's not been a profit-making exercise. You know, we've paid extra to get some beautiful within the color scheme on the actual wax itself. We've self-released this one as well, so no one's helping us pay for that. We thought that was an important thing to do. It's another, to be totally honest, that's another reason we're re-releasing the debut album. We're trying to make everything in-house as we go forward. All the lyrics are here, set out. This beautiful t-shirt design from Rodrigo Serna from Madrid. Beautiful feminine spirit deity Lune there, moths, dead hair, snake and all. And if you want to find out why it's got those items, you can ask me privately. Yeah,
Snake
you can get that.
and all.
Yeah.
The t-shirt will tell you what it's all about.
Yeah, Viper et al. Yeah, so you can get all of that for just 35 quid, or you can just grab the vinyl itself for 20, or the shirt itself for 20. So you don't need me to be Carol Vorderman to tell you that's a saving right there, my friends.
Let's be honest, would you rather give money to like a hard-working band like us, or line the pockets of Jeff Bezos and make him even richer by buying pointless consumeristic tat you do not need from Amazon? Exactly.
Yes, Hannah. Plus.
Hannah, that's
I'd love to see it.
Thank you, Hannah. What else have we got here? What else have we got? Who's chatting? Let's see.
Yeah, any other questions you've got, hit us up.
Jennifer Crocier, hoping there'll be an album launch night like at the ABC for the new album. 100%, Jen. Did I just say 100%?
Absolutely.
100%. Yeah, like life is getting back to normal now. I don't want to say we're out of the woods, of course. I really respect that a lot of people are still going through the health issues, etc. Yeah, not trying to mean that by speeding through, but yeah, literally as soon as it's safe to do so, we'll start looking at that. We're not shying away from the fact Callum is in Canada and having the time of his life, and we're at the part, the stage as a band where we're not going to rush anybody in terms of how much they're loving their situation just to play gigs, but it's not going to hold us back from making music. We've spoken between ourselves. We can record remotely, no problem at all. But to get that feeling and vibe, Callum's going to be coming back and doing that. And we're going to be looking at touring in Canada. We're going to be looking at coming over the water and using those circles there. Callum can come over and tour in Europe. We're going to be about quality, not quantity, as we move forward. And if that means we do 1 or 2 tours a year rather than playing every single weekend, we promise you it's going to be more worth it than a diluted version of the band. So yeah, don't worry about that. Yeah. Taylor, hopefully it'll be the Barras. If the guys will ever ask us, we'd love to. Shannon, the shirt is sick. And Shannon, hello from all of us. You make our boy happy, so we love you very much, and I hope we meet you very soon.
Yes, Shannon,
Taylor,
can't wait.
Excellent, great to hear.
Miss you guys, can't wait for the merch. Yep, that'll be out soon, my man. Okay, here we go. Some questions. What was the toughest song to write and why over the course of this Wolves lineup? Okay. Why don't you guys take a lead? Everyone answer that first.
I mean, we did touch on it a little bit, but with
Always
Be Mine, I felt, I don't know, leaving it right to the last minute, getting into the studio before having any of the parts written was pretty stressful. But, I had faith in the magic that happens when you're in there. I've worked with Bruce before, and, we'd spent a lot of time in the same room together by that point, so knew something was going to happen. But I feel like that was such a fully fleshed out song. So in terms of the songwriting itself, I'm sure that doesn't apply for the rest of you. That from my part, that was hard to pull together. But then also, Wish Forever Was Today was potentially the most challenging for me as a guitarist. Like, if you listen through that song, there's a lot going on. So, especially performing that live, going from one part to the next is a tough time. So, yeah, I don't know. You know, both of those two, but it's so rewarding. Like, once you've gotten through that and you've worked through it and you've figured out how to
100%
get it right live, it's just the most amazing feeling. So,
but definitely a 1 beer limit before it.
Oh, yeah, too right.
Yeah, let's keep that one close to that.
I've learned my lessons.
We've all got horror stories, haven't we, of when we were younger.
Every song turned.
Yeah, big time, man. Andy, what about you? So let's open it up for me, you and Rob. Obviously, it's not just those 3 singles. So, what was been the toughest song to write and why?
I think I've already touched on this before, man. Keep Close. I think just because it's the meaning behind the song. I've said this already in the video, but it's given that song justice to what it deserves, and wanting to write a part which complements what you've already written, Kyle, and what everyone else has put to it as well. It's a very, very, very special song, and it's one of my favorites on this whole vinyl. So that, it was quite difficult, but I think it came together. At the same time, it came together quite easy. It was when we had our parts, we all discussed it, and it was one of those things which, even though it wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't like the most simplest to write. When it did all come together, it was fucking beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Robsy?
It's a tough one, man. I think maybe, something like Always Be Mine, just because it's got such like a monster, like disgustingly like filthy riff throughout it. I think for me, like sometimes you hear like bass players like give each other shit. It's like, oh, he's just playing the root notes, man. And it's like, well, yeah, like that riff is like so sick. Like, what else are you gonna play? So I think for me, I was racking my brains. Like, I'm gonna have to come up with something. I'm gonna have to come up with maybe like some counter melody or like a little fill or like a little like cool bit, and then you kind of then sort of take a step back and go like, well, why? Like, just playing like the main riff is sounding quality. Your job as a bass player, like, first and foremost, is to provide the low end and the groove and make people get all about it and stuff. So I think that one for me was probably like I did a few kind of iterations and things, and then just settled on just keep it simple. So yeah, I don't know. Is that a bit of a non-answer? Is that a bit of a political answer? Who knows? But it's out there now. Too late.
For me, I think no, I think that's a good answer. For me, I'll keep it short because I've kept everything else very long. But probably Falling, super, super high in my range. I don't know if it sounds that high. It's one of those, some songs in the world exist where you're like, oh, that sounds easy to sing. And then you sing it and you're like, holy fuck. Like,
Yeah.
That's me at kind of, not the top of my range, but it's near the summit for the whole thing. So it's like quite taxing. But to be honest, we've got a real question right now. Oh, sorry, Taylor. I didn't mean to click that one. We'll get to your other question. We've got a bigger question here. The real hard-hitting news. Favorite sandwich? Whoa. We'll probably wrap this up at about 2 hours 30 because I cannot believe it's 2 hours 26. So, yeah. Well, let's answer a couple more. Get the questions in. Favorite sandwich? I'm a vegan now, but back in the day it was cheese and coleslaw. So if I can get a good vegan cheese and coleslaw for me, boysies.
Oh man,
Similar point from me. Back in the day, Tesco used to make a ham, cheese, and jalapeno coleslaw sandwich.
Mm,
So with a little bit of added spice, that's
nice.
right up my street.
Well,
So veganize it, and I'm right there.
nice. That's what it's all about. I'm a man of simple tastes. Maybe like a cheeky egg mayo. Definitely stay away from coronation chicken. Too many horror stories connected to that bad boy. Local
it's a good story, man.
delicacy, Delicious, which is a great sandwich shop here in the Fair City. They do something called a Mexican chicken wrap. It used to be called Mexican Bandit, I believe, but they obviously decided that was a bit racist. But yeah, that's quality.
Better take that off the menu.
Yeah. Andy?
Chicken mayo for me, man. I'm a quite a basic bitch. So.
That's fine. Okay, and we have a real good question here. What is the most memorable tour or live performance with this lineup? Also, for me,
With this lineup, it's been one show.
yeah, but I think it's quite fair to say, like, you know, and Callum won't take offense at this, just as like Rob won't take offense because he didn't make a tour. You know, it's the guys in this band. So for me, and it really hurts to say this, but it would be disingenuous not to say it. So Rob wasn't able to make the last European tour we did because it was crazy fucking snow and weather. We nearly didn't get there ourselves. So we had to get Taylor to step in. And it wasn't anything to do with having Taylor there and Rob not there. Like, Taylor was an amazing addition, but we all missed the hell out of Rob. But it was just the best planned tour we ever had. We had a designated tour manager, our good friend Stephen Bruce. We'd had the legend Matthias Stam, a good riddance tour booking to set it all up for us. The venues we played were amazing. The hotels we stayed at were amazing. It wasn't just roughing it. We stayed with good friends when we weren't in hotels. We played great places. And it was a real shame Rob couldn't come there. But that was an amazing time. Sure. But also, just as equally, as I said, the first time we went on that European tour, that was equally as special to me because it was the first time that I realised, I wanted to, like I said, I couldn't continue with the status quo anymore. Like, I wasn't going to be able to do this all the time with my band, but I wanted to make a change in my life. So that was a tour us three and Brian did. And obviously Brian's an absolute legend. Get on with Brian really well. But, if I could have just taken the best bits of that and the best bits of the tour that Rob wasn't there and had Callum and Rob at both of them, it would be very hard to pick between the two. But I just think how slickly, it was a bit longer and it was bigger shows. I think the last European tour we did was phenomenal, like life-changing. And we'll go and play those same venues again and some. So, we can't wait to do that with Rob. And sneaky little, because I'm a little bit drunk, probably going to tell you, we're really making some plans to do that with Parish, our friends from Paris, who are fucking phenomenal. And I don't care if, the finances don't work and we need to self-fund it. I don't give a shit, because playing with those lads every night as a band, amazing. Hanging with those lads as guys, even better. So, Rob, you'll get back on that tour with us and we'll have an even better time because we'll spend it with like-minded, beautiful people in another band as well.
Yeah,
fucking cheers to that, man. Absolutely.
It's going to be incredible, I think. Just kind of echoing everything you said, really. Like the kind of first European tour we did, it goes back to a point I was going to make earlier on. I think we've kind of got a big benefit of not being like a huge band where we would only play like London, Paris, Madrid, Berlin. We're playing all these like random places that you would never ever go to as a tourist, like places in Germany like Karlsruhe or Aachen or Oberhausen. Even Leipzig, which is pretty far out of the way. You would never really go to these places, just on like holiday. So I think it's
I think you're just trying to show off your German accent there, Rob.
Oh, it's not good as Kyle's. I can't roll my R's. So yeah, and obviously like all the sweet places. I know, all the sweet places we've been to in like the UK as well, and like like Scotland and stuff. Like just random little like gigs that you would never go to these places. So yeah, I think we're so lucky to do that. And long may it continue. I'm glad we're not just playing like like the huge places. Like I know we had like a taste of playing O2 academies and big venues back in the day, but I'm enjoying just going to places where bands don't normally tour. Like we touched on it earlier with like going to Balcom and meeting like the legend that is Rich and all those like so sound people that we met there. I mean, it's amazing, really. So
100%.
I've got a strong
Callum,
memory of being in. I mean, the whole tour was amazing, but I remember specifically we got to Prague, and I pulled Andy aside and I was like, "Do you want to go for a walk with me? Because I think I'm going to have to buy new guitar cables for the size of the stage."
Yeah.
Because it was like twice the size of what I expected and twice the size of any other stage we played on that tour. So I had to nip down to the local guitar shop and buy like 30-foot cables just so we could make that show happen. We couldn't even do sound check without me doing that unless I stood right beside the amp. So that was a good little reality check.
That stage
like,
was
right,
fucking massive, man.
Yeah, I'm not just playing hometown shows here. Like this is a bigger thing, and that felt really good to me.
So good, yeah. Amazing people as well. They're like, I've never been to Czech Republic. I think they've actually changed the name of the Czech Republic again. I don't know if it's Czechoslovakia again. I don't know, but anyway.
Tread lightly there, Kyle.
No, that's what I'm trying to do, rather than just say Czech Republic. But anyway, my ignorance. But yeah, the people there were absolutely fantastic. And I remember we were sitting drinking beers, but the day off we had, and we were getting like rounds in, and then we went up to the bar, and like he was like, the equivalent like £3.50, and I was like, oh no, I'm paying for everybody's. He's like, yeah, that was the round. I was like, what the hell? 3 more. It was unbelievable. And we went to that Vorkovnia, like downstairs, and you're sitting up in the loft, and there was like the dogs walking around the bar and stuff.
Yeah.
Rob, we'll go back there, I promise you, brother. Like,
such an awesome wee place, man.
I hate when like I'm not being part of something and people talk about it. I get that, but I wouldn't talk about it like this if it wasn't so clear that Rob would have just made all that even better. It wasn't like
completely.
Oh, we had this great time, so we shouldn't talk about it around Rob. It's like, no, talk about it because next time Rob will be there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Totally.
Andy, what about you? Best gig?
Man, it's
show.
Oh, it is genuinely so difficult to pinpoint one show, man. I think I've voiced my opinion several times on previous calls and previous videos, but like Germany stands out so highly on my thoughts of these, man. Like Karlsruhe, fuck me, like genuinely, like just such a small venue, but it was like a uni kind of crowd, wasn't it? Was it university kind of college vibe?
Yeah, it's like their union and
the union.
So man, pay and stuff.
So these guys, if anyone's that's watching this has watched any like the previous videos that we've talked about this, they were these local guys. It's a fucking class story. So like, these 4 Indian boys who had never been to a gig in their whole lives, and we were their first rock band that they never watched live, and they were like deadpan, like they were front center stage right in front of us, and they were fucking having the time of their lives, man, jumping up and down in unison to each other, looking at each other, just getting so vibed, and like we're all looking at each other playing the gig, looking at each other like, fucking yes, you guys are having it. And after that show, like it was so interactive with every person in the audience. You got to have a few beers on afterwards, chat about where they're from, what they're studying, what we're up to, where we're going on the tour. And the barman, he was the coolest guy ever, that big, chubby, German as fuck dude, awesome guy, who was just like, right, I've got some challenges for you boys. We did the Sambuca volcano, and it was just, we were treated like absolute royalty that night, man. Like, Germany is where it's at. Like, Kyle's touched base on this before in other videos as well, but every show that we played in Germany, like, you walk into the backstage area and they have a fridge just full of beers and they have all the food that you want. And they're just so welcoming. Like, whereas you play something like the UK and you might get, right, you have a 4-pack to share or here's some water. But Germany is just so fucking sound, man.
Yeah, big time, man. Amazing, yeah, just and so good. And it's not to say that the people we've met when we've travelled up and down, Scotland and England, and it's not to say that those gigs are, some of the best gigs we've had are those, but on the whole, it's Europe for us moving forward. And Canada will be a new market which we'll look to explore. And I don't mean market in terms of like trying to make cash, just like in terms of actually experiencing what the different places are like. And I'm sure there's a country that size, I'm sure each region is like different countries, like it is in the States and stuff as well. So that'll be really interesting as well. But yeah, guys, the numbers are dwindling. Quite right. I don't like we always say with the music we make. If one person's here, that's great. We've had a good time chatting about this, and I hope that some of you watching tonight have enjoyed getting a bit of an insight into the other side of the music and what our plans are. Just to reiterate everything again, we're releasing this as 10 years as a band. We're releasing this vinyl. We've taken great care in trying to make it as cool as we can for you, as beautiful a product and as high quality as a product as we can. We've painstakingly put the tracks into the order that we feel makes the most sense musically, feeling, theme in the subject matter. It's not just been a random discussion. Same goes for the artwork, the accompanying merch. We put too much pressure on ourselves trying to make sure that all works. Like, you guys might not even be that bothered, but to us, it's like got to be perfect. So we've done all this, and this is literally just the first step to us being able to book in the second album. So as soon as we make the funds from this, album 2 starts becoming a reality, and it is a reality. I could let you hear songs right now. I'm not gonna, but it's there. It's on here. The 17 songs are right here. And when we get into that cycle, we'll probably will do some things like this, but only for the people who are subscribing and pre-ordering, and we'll let you hear early demos, and we'll do all that kind of thing. A lot more interesting than just tonight listening to the tunes. But we need to get past this stage first. We need to be able to have the funds to do it. And for a band who made all their money on touring and gigging, we've not been able to do it for a year out with our control and 2 years together based on the time we needed to take personally. So again, we'll post all the links and things up online tomorrow. But I think that says everything we need to say. I'd love to hand it over to you guys if you've got anything else to add.
Yeah, I think just echoing what you said, Kyle. Oh, sorry, Andy. Cut you off there, bro.
No, I think there's a bit of a lag going on, that's all, man. You crack on, Robsy.
Oh yeah, cheers, bro. Yeah, just to say echoing what you've said, Kyle. Really, I think this is something that the people, you guys who have been into this band, have been asking for a long time, for a vinyl, and I think it's a beautiful package. We've kind of put our heart and soul into this, and we're not just doing this to try and fleece the fans and raise a lot of money. Like Kyle mentioned earlier, we could have really made the profit margins much higher, charge more for it, but that's not how we've ever done anything as music. And as fans of music and fans of bands, we want to make this as affordable as possible while being as premium a product as it can be. And we've heard the 8 songs tonight. These songs mean a lot to us, and it's incredible that they mean a lot to you guys as well. And we appreciate all the support you've ever given us throughout the 10 years of the band. And if you're able to kind of help us out and help get this second album a reality by purchasing the vinyl and the t-shirt, then that'd be absolutely incredible. And if you can share it with like-minded people who might be interested in it as well, then that'd be incredible. And we'll definitely be on another call again soon where we can give you a big update on what the second album is going to be about.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man. Yeah, it's hard to kind of add to any more what you guys have said. Like, we've been working so hard behind the scenes to make this second album. So any help that can be put towards us would be so massively appreciated. Like, we've been so busy, we just can't wait to get out and to perform to you guys again and to see each other again, mainly. But yeah, just so excited. I think all of us just died there as well. Yeah, just thank you so much for the support, and may long it continue.
Callum, you want to lead us out, and then we'll end this broadcast after your last notes.
Yeah, of course. I don't know. I'm just so glad that we're getting stuff out there. It's kept me going the last few months to have something to focus on, and I've built this little space for myself here, this little music studio over in Toronto, Canada. So yeah, it's nice to have that focus and to have something to work towards. And yeah, I think it's kept us all sane for the past year. And it really is, I think, coming from a place of all of us really loving what we're doing here and just kind of loving each other for lack of other things. That's the only reason it's been worth sticking with this for the past year. And it would have been so easy to just sort of pack it in, but I'm so glad that we're keeping it going, and we've got Lune as a way to sort of celebrate what we've done so far. And then this new album, I genuinely do think is some of the best music that we're capable of making. So I just can't wait to see what it sounds like fully recorded and what the reaction is afterwards.
100%. Great way to sum it up. Guys, I've seen streams like this before, and that little viewers thing is at 200, and they've not got the same connection. Whoever the 7 are that have stayed on this whole time, thanks so much. Like, we don't take it lightly. When we play a gig, if there's one person there who's rocking it the whole time, we talk about that afterwards. You see that one person who absolutely knew the lyrics? Thanks so much for sticking on.
It's usually Taylor, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or German.
You need to give Taylor some credit there. It's always him.
Fuck yeah, Taylor.
Survivor until the end.
Wherever we go, it's not about numbers, it's about quality and connection. And yeah, thanks for everybody who's stuck on tonight. And yeah, Lune's out there. Once the 250 shifted, we'll make the second album for you. We need your help in getting the word out there. It's not just about buying it, it's about helping us share it there. If you are struggling, you don't have any money at all, and somehow listening to it on Spotify is not enough, and you want the actual tracks, email me. I'll send you the MP3s. I don't give a shit. We're trying to give you something more than that because it's a beautiful thing. But if you just want to own it, that's cool. But what we would ask is that you just help us promote it, because the odds are against the independent these days. We cannot get our word out there. It just does not work. So we need the fans to help us do that. So thanks to every single one of you who's been on there tonight. We're going to end this broadcast and have a wee laugh about how we did on our first teenage boy live stream, and then I'll probably be live tomorrow night with a live stream of FIFA 2021 for anyone that wants to watch. I've got the bug, baby. I don't. This was stressful, but yeah, thanks so much to every one of you. You're the reason we're still going. We love each other to bits, but yeah, we feel there's enough love there from you guys to want to keep doing this as well. So absolutely. Thanks so much. Thanks to everybody for watching.
Yeah, cheers to everyone.
Yeah,
cheers.
Thank you,
guys. Beautiful bastards.
Take care of each other. Love you. Speak soon.
Yeah, we're talking about